At this point in the summer, I think the best word to describe the way it feels in our coaches' room is anticipation.
Training camp starts with 62 players, and we got to cut that down to 23.
Go, go, go!
Coming into my first training camp, definitely a little bit nervous.
For the guys who are on the bubble, that's got to be a terrifying feeling knowing there's 5 of us and there's 2 chairs.
Every week, friends go down and people get cut.
I'm just trying to show them I can still play.
Sonny Milano spins a backhand to the room. A shot.
That's grabbing the coach and going, hey, I want to make this team.
It's just the start. The next guy's down in Hershey, hungry, chomping at the bit and replace you.
Play in NHL is my one dream in life.
When you're building a roster, every little detail is taken into consideration, and hopefully it's right.
I know what I can accomplish, I know what I can do. I just have to put it on display.
Score!
I want to make this team really bad.
It's like the first day of school. Capitals players and fans are back inside of MedStar Capitals Iceplex as the 2025-26 season kicks off today with training camp and media day.
I want to be the first to welcome everybody to the 2025 Washington Capitals training camp.
As the calendar flips to September, it starts to get kind of exciting. You see the guys coming back and coaches get back in town.
It doesn't matter who you are, from Tom Wilson to Ryan Leonard to Matt Stroll, who's a 2-time Calder Cup champion.
Then training camp starts and everything adjusts on almost a daily basis from there.
No matter who you are and the role that you have inside this organization, it's on us, okay, to push one another and raise the bar. Nobody works harder than this team, and nobody has more fun.
At this point in the summer, I think the best word to describe the way it feels in our coaches' room is anticipation. It's a clean slate. It's a totally different year now. You start looking at the calendar, start planning your travel, start piecing the training camp together and what it's going to look like, and so you're ready to go and ready to be back in the rink.
Training camp starts with 62 players, and we got to cut that down to 23.
Usually you've identified, we call them bubble guys. Guys that are going to compete for spots. If they have a really good camp, they could potentially make the team.
For the guys who are on the bubble, that's got to be a terrifying feeling knowing that you're trying to make the Washington Capitals, a team that won the Eastern Conference last year and might have 1, maybe 2 openings. And you look around the room and you're like, there's 5 of us and there's 2 chairs.
Go, go, go!
The first 3 days is probably the 3 most difficult days we will go through as a coaching staff because it's essentially 3 practices and we run the same practice for 3 groups.
Push up!
You're going from 62 and progressively just moving down until you get to that 23. Our D-core has basically been solidified, but the forward group is where it gets the most interesting because there are spots and there's some new faces.
When I think of the young guys who are going to be pressing for a spot, there aren't many openings. I mean, when you're bringing back 20 players, you really only got 1, maybe 2 openings for new players.
There's going to be a heck of a talented group that's going to start pushing its way up the pipeline.
When you get to camp, you obviously want to put your best foot forward. You want to kind of show what you can do.
Coming into my first training camp, I didn't really know what to expect. Definitely a little bit nervous, but just tried to do all the right things in training camp and go from there.
Today it's an opportunity. Don't take that lightly. Be competitive. Be a fiery guy like you are, and I think you're going to have a lot of success.
That's the plan.
We have these young players that are pushing the envelope, whether it's the Andrew Crystals, Little Pro, Justin Sordoff, Ryan Leonard, who we saw last year. There's a lot of internal competition at the forward position.
This year, Sonny Milano, Lappy, Miro, Ethan Frank, kind of competing for one spot, maybe two spots as the 12th and 13th forwards.
Hendrix Lapierre, first-round draft pick, a lot of talent, good speed.
Lapierre wheels it ahead, trying to catch the monster, shoots and scores!
He's played a number of games at the NHL level and has had some success here and there.
Lapierre scores! Hendrix Lapierre with a spin move in front!
But to this point, he just hasn't been able to put it all together.
For Hendrix, I think last year was a disappointing year for him. Getting sent to Hershey, so I think he has the motivation internally to come in and have a good camp.
Obviously last year got sent down after a little bit, and fortunate enough that Hershey's a good place to play too, but you know, obviously I don't want to go back there.
A really important decision for the organization is going to be made on whether Lappy makes the Washington Capitals opening day or gets put on waivers and is exposed to 31 other teams.
I want to make this team really bad. I know what I can accomplish, I know what I can do, I just have to put it on display.
Ivan Miroshnichenko is a very interesting player. Competes hard, got a little physicality to him.
I like hits all time. It's my style.
He's got a great shot.
Great move, great play. You gotta be kidding me!
Miro's been in the organization now for a few years. He's done a good job with his development. We feel like he just continues to get a little bit better.
Scoring! Yes, sir!
And developing into an everyday NHL player.
Play in NHL, it's dream. It's my one dream in life.
He is waiver exempt. So probably in the back of his mind, and even the guys who are on the bubble, they know that he can be sent to AHL Hershey without needing to clear waivers.
As a young guy coming in, you don't have a lot of room for error. You need to be 100% dialed. Make it so Spencer's like, I can't take Miro off this line. I can't take him out of the lineup.
And then you have a few veteran players that also are trying to find their spot in the lineup, whether it's Ethan Frank or Sonny Milano.
Sonny Milano is a veteran who has had some really good seasons in this league.
First career NHL hat
He has scored some really big goals for this Capitals team.
Short side top, he scores!
But he only played 3 games last year because of an upper body injury. And I think going into the offseason, he was kind of written off by a lot of people.
And I think for Sonny, we don't know how he's going to look. It's been a long time off.
Hoping that he can find his game right away in training camp and doesn't need any time to get back up and running in the AHL. So we'll be able to evaluate that and see where he's at.
Last year was pretty tough for me, missing most of the year, but definitely ready to go, and a couple spots open, and I'm just trying to show them I can still play.
The guys who are on the bubble, you know, when they're interviewed, they always say it's kind of a friendly competition. You're in the same locker room. These are your boys. You know, I'm just gonna go out there and do my best. But at the same time, when the bench door closes and you're on the ice for that first practice, you're trying to send a message. You want to make that team. Because they know one good preseason game can put them on the NHL roster. 1 or 2 bad preseason games could mean they're going to the AHL.
The exhibition games are kind of a mix of NHL players and more AHL guys, and you want to see how these young guys do against pro players.
Sonny Milano spins a backhand to the roof. What a shot! Milano behind the defense. Scores! Score! In tight on a snapshot. Lapierre.
That's grabbing the coach and going, hey, I want to make this team.
Good night, Boston. A lot of guys making statements in this one.
Both Lappy and Sonny, they had really strong games and really showed, hey, like, this is my spot to lose.
Another guy that hasn't played in a long, long time, almost a full calendar year, Sonny Milano. Sonny Milano for You know, his first ice hockey game in almost a year. You know, that was pretty impressive.
Definitely eases it up a little bit, and yeah, it was just fun to be out there again.
The skates have been really intense and high volume, and every guy has been competing for a job.
It's definitely some internal competitive but friendly competition, but there's only a certain amount of spots.
When you're building a roster, on the one hand, you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, and on the other hand, you're trying to develop young players. And usually that's a contradiction. It's tough to do that at the NHL level. Every little detail is taken into consideration. What I always say is you're never going to be right with every single roster decision you make. But what is important is you gathered every last piece of information you possibly could in the time given to you, and hopefully it's right.
Start of every season, you want to be on that opening line roster. You want to be there when the puck drops at Capital One. But what if I do get sent down? You know, what if that happens? You never know if you're going to make the team.
There's been a buzz around the rink all week long. The Capitals playing this game against the Flyers and their AHL affiliates home. Welcome into Giant Center, everybody. I'm Katie Florio, joined alongside Tarek El-Bashir, and we are certainly in for a very fun night.
You're in the best town in the history of the American Hockey League right here, and the loudest band.
When the Caps take the ice, it's going to be the first time they were in Hershey in 19 years.
It's exciting to see, the guys that we've been watching for a number of years playing with the Bears, get an opportunity to play.
It's kind of like a homecoming game, eh?
When we think about the Capitals, a number of them have come through Hershey. And you can go right up and down the roster. Alexei Protas, Hendrix Lapierre, even John Carlson. The list goes on and on and on.
I can tell you this, it's truly a privilege and an honor being named the new head coach of this storied organization, the Hershey Bears.
Spencer Carbery made a name for himself as the head coach of the Hershey Bears.
To be able to come back to Hershey and all the incredible memories of coaching here, being on the bench through the 3 years that I was here, so it'll be a special moment.
This is a family affair. We have two sets of brothers playing into tonight's game.
How much fun is this going to be for you tonight?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's something we've been looking forward to for a long time. Since we were 4 and 6 was the last time we played together.
Matt Strome's been an unbelievable person for this organization. I've always kind of hoped we could get him into an exhibition game, and then when I saw that Hershey game on the schedule, it just felt like a no-brainer.
I've looked up to Dill and my other brother Ryan for so long, and now to be able to play with one of them, it's really cool.
And for the Protases as well, and I like to call them the Brothers Proti. At some point, these two guys are going to be in Washington, and they're going to be a terror for the rest of the league.
We're the Protas brothers? Wow, it's emotional.
And the Protas brothers, it's just kind of fun in general, watching the two of them. Literally like a little brother following around his big brother, just trying to do everything that he does.
Little Pro, I just see Big Pro. 5 years ago, not just in their appearance, but in their game, in their intelligence. It's funny.
You hear like Big Pro, Little Pro, you're like, whoa, we were playing together, like two brothers, like that's special. He's like getting mad sometimes, but I just let him know he's not right sometimes.
It's going to take time. He will just continue to develop just like his big brother did.
For guys, we're sort of on the cusp. What do you think they have to prove once again with another opportunity in the second preseason game?
When you're competing for a spot on the Washington Capitals, you're always trying to put good stuff on tape.
Let's go!
Watching this preseason game in Hershey, it is clear to me that the bubble guys understand the assignment. Sonny Milano, 2 goals, 2 assists. That's a lot of production.
Wraps it in front, trying to find Milano, squirts in!
Yes!
I think Sonny felt like he was going to score every time he touched the puck.
I'm a skill guy. I think if I get a chance, there's a good chance I might go in the net.
Hendrix Lapierre was also really good.
But it's Lapierre behind the goal, centers to Milano. He scores! Oh, what a feed from Hendricks Lapierre, and Sonny Milano's got two.
And Miro put himself on the map with a really pretty goal.
This one shot in along the left wing. Miro Stachenko drives the goal, power move the net. He scores! What a goal by Ivan Miro Stachenko!
You find there's some guys that have separated themselves, and Sonny Milano, Hendricks Lapierre, Miro played great in Hershey.
It's the sweetest place on earth and a sweet victory for the Washington Capitals. A 5-1 win in their return to Chocolate Town.
That game, 60 minutes, that was impressive. That was a really good hockey game. You start to right away go, okay, we're going to need to see them against some more NHL ready rosters, because as the preseason moves along, now more NHL players start to play in preseason game 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Like, sure, a guy can go do it against a lineup that's more minor league guys, but how do they do against a lineup that's full-time NHLers? It's not easy.
It has been a very competitive camp so far, and these last couple of games are going to go a long way, maybe toward deciding who gets to stay and who doesn't.
Once you get down towards the end of camp, that's when you're really trying to, okay, who's playing in what games, who do we need to see more of?
As camp goes on, it's tougher to play more minutes. Those minutes are harder because you're playing against better players, but at the end of the day, you're getting ready to play in the NHL. You just got to make the most of it.
Yeah, we're less than 100 hours away from the submission of opening night rosters, and the Caps are still at 33 players.
And with every single round of cuts, it gets more competitive. Just in general, the vibe around camp starts to get a little bit more serious, especially for the guys who are fighting for a spot.
Chychrun closing, snapshot, dribbles in. Leonard on the doorstep.
The sleepless nights come kind of later in camp when you're putting guys on waivers and you're risking losing guys.
That's where the evaluation process and speaking with Chris and his team and everything is taken into account.
It just sucks because the start of camp we're playing cards where 8 guys are on the table, and then the week after there's 6 guys, and the week after there's 4 guys. So it's like every week friends go down and people you like, get cut.
Exciting time of year, opening day right around the corner.
Towards the end of camp, you got to make some really, really difficult decisions.
It comes down to getting from 25 or 26 players down to that final 23 players.
You know what's going to happen, you know there's going to be cuts, and you just have to deal with it and let your play talk for itself.
To bring someone into your office and say, something that they've worked so hard for and trained all summer for, and tell them that unfortunately it hasn't come to fruition this time. It's the worst message to deliver, and it never gets easier or more comfortable. It just sucks. It never is an easy way of saying, we're sending you down.
Those are the decisions that are hard, and those are the ones that we spend a ton of time on.
So on final cut down, Ivan Miroshnichenko, who I thought showed very well during the preseason, got loaned out to Hershey.
The Miro decision was a really difficult one, but it's also this roster construction and what makes sense. Because remember, it's not just, is Miro capable of playing in the NHL? Yes, he absolutely is.
Miro, some factors come into play with him specifically as a young player. If we don't think he's going to play on opening night in one of our top 4 lines, is it worth keeping him around as a 13th forward when we can send him to Hershey and have him play first line, first power play?
That decision was a difficult one, sending him down, but we feel like long-term, this will help Miro's development and will only help the organization long-term as well.
When I talked to Miro after, sure he is upset, like everyone will be, get sent down to Hershey. For sure it's not easy, Everyone believes in him, everyone trusts Miro, and it's up to him to work and just to earn the spot.
I wasn't surprised at all when it comes to the final two forwards that made the roster. Sonny Milano and Hendrix Lapierre.
For Sonny, we didn't know what we were going to see or how he was going to look. And he came in and definitely showed us that he was ready to get back to where he was.
Sonny Milano spins a backhand to the roof.
I think they were happy to see me back and healthy, so it was a good feeling.
Last year, Hendrix Lapierre made the team as well, and felt like the start to his year didn't go the way that we had planned, the way that he had hoped. And so this year, you had a great training camp. Loved the way that you performed. And now it's just a matter of nothing changes. It's that same mindset every single day that you carried through training camp.
I think it's 3 times now that I've made the starting roster. So right now I think the next goal is just kind of staying with the team for as long as I can.
The energy is very high tonight for this home opener against the Bruins.
Here we go.
To put on a Capitals jersey opening night meant a lot to me, and it's pretty surreal to be here now.
It's a dream come true to make the opening night roster.
Tonight will be your first of hopefully many opening nights to come in your career.
Goosebumps and chills right away. But it's even harder to stick around, so just try to get better and better each and every game and hopefully play a long time.
Last year was a weird year for you. Is that a polite way of saying it?
You know, you learn from all that stuff, but definitely looking forward to today and seeing everyone rocking the red.
Time to come to the league.
That's not bad,
Man, he's nice. This is freaking legit.
Walking in that locker room was really fun.
You told me you wanted an upgrade, eh?
Yeah, it's much better.
I mean, we had a good setup, but this is just like next level, right? Now it's just kind of like business as usual, and you made the team, and congratulations, but now it's just about keeping it going.
It is opening night here in Chinatown. 3 guys going to be really excited to come firing down a tunnel tonight.
The hard part is now you're not going to get as much ice time as you did in the preseason, so you got to make the best of it when you're out there.
This one knocked downtown. Wilson scores! Wilson ties the game!
The one spot that people are fighting for is important, but at the end of the day, it's just the start. They still need to go out and prove it every night. The next guy's down in Hershey, hungry, chomping at the bit to come up and replace you. So you got to be playing your best hockey right from the start.
So everyone just wants to be healthy. And obviously it's taken longer than most people wanted, but I feel great now, so now I just got to show what I can do.
Camp was 5% of what we're going to accomplish this year, and I'm glad I was able to get that first step and make that team, but now it's the toughest part, which is staying here and being consistent for 82 games. So we'll see what happens.